We're going to solve some application problems and math problems using critical thinking skills here. This first section here says we're going to take these fractions and we're going to enlarge them by parts. So in number 16, it says we have 3/4 and we want to enlarge it to 1/8. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to ask ourselves, what did we multiply 4 to get the 8? Well, we know it was 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. So now I have 6/8. That's what that fraction enlarged to. Let's look at the next one. It says 1/4, and we're going to enlarge it to the 16th. So I asked myself, what did I multiply the 4 by to get 16? Well, it's 4. So 1 times 4 is 4. So it's 4/16. Our next one says we're going to take the 2/3 and enlarge it by 12ths. Okay. Well, what did I multiply 3 by to get 12? We multiplied it by 4, so we're going to multiply the top. 2 times 4 is 8, and now it's 8/12. This other one over here on this other side, let's do it. It says we're going to take 2/5 and enlarge it to the 10ths. So what did I multiply 5 by to get 10? Well, it was 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. So it's 4/10. The next one's let's enlarge it by, let's take 2/3 and enlarge it by 9ths. So I asked myself, what did I multiply that 3 by? Well, it was 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. And now I got 6/9. Okay, so let's move on. Let's go to application problem. First application problem we're going to look at is a patient is supposed to drink 10 fluid ounce bottle of this magnesium prior to his x-ray study. He has been able to drink 6 fluid ounces. We want to know what portion remains. So what I know is I can set it up as he drank 6 fluid ounces over the total amount of 10. So the total goes in the denominator. Then, so it gives me a ratio, right? I can reduce this because I know 2 times 3 is 6 and 2 times 5 is 10. So I can reduce it by 2 and it leaves me with 3/5. However, this is the portion, the ratio of what was consumed out of the total. So if the total is going to be in parts of 5, I know that I can take 5 over 5, subtract it from the 3/5, which gives me 5 minus 3 over 5, which is 2/5. That tells me what remains. That's the portion. Okay. Now let's do this next application. It says one medicine bottle contains 12 doses. We want to know how many full fractional bottles of medicine are required to have 18 doses. So if one bottle is 12 doses and we need 18, well, 18 minus 12, that's 6. We need 6 more doses. Well, if one bottle is 12 doses, then that means we need half of another bottle, correct? To have 18 full doses. So we can write it as 1.5. That's decimal. Of course, they want it as a fraction, so it'd be 1/2, right? Or it could be 3/2. So this is a fraction reduced to the lowest terms in improper form. This is a mixed number, and then this is decimal. Okay. So just read what it asks us for. In this case here, it said a fraction, so we would use the improper one here. Next application problem. It says a respiratory therapy class consists of 24 men and 36 women. What fraction of students in the class are men? So we're going to take the 24 men and we're going to divide it by the 36 women. Let's reduce it. Well, I know 4 times 6 gives me 24. 4 times 9 gives me 36. And the 4 is reduced. Leaves me with 6, which is 2 times 3, 9, which is 3 times 3, and the 3 is reduced. So it leaves me 2/3 are men. Okay. The next one said, a nursing student answers 18 out of 20 questions correctly on the test. Write the proper fraction, reduce lowest terms of the portion of the test questions that were answered correctly. So 18 out of 20. Remember, 20 is the total. It went on the bottom. So let's reduce it. We know 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 10 is 20. 2's reduced, leaving me with 9/10. 9/10 is the portion that was correct. All right, the next one. A typical dose of children's Tylenol contains 160 milligrams of medication per teaspoon. All right, and it says each is 80 milligrams. What part is a typical dose? All right, so what I'm going to do is take that 80 milligrams, divide it by the 160 milligrams, right? All right. You can put per dose here, or you can just write 80 divided by the 160. Gives me what? Gives me 1/2, which is 0.5. So this is my answer. So that is my typical dose, right? Now on part 2, it says how many of these are teaspoons? Well, let's take that 80 milligrams over that 160 milligrams times that per dose. Or if we look right here, it says teaspoon. Gives us, again, teaspoon, which is 0.5 teaspoons.